Reality is often disappointing. That is, it was. Now, reality can be whatever I want.
Why was the Reality Stone so weak compared to the other Infinity Stones?
I like you.
Before we jump into the video, the April giveaway is this authentic electronic Infinity Gauntlet. To enter is simple. 1, like the video. 2, subscribe and hit the bell notification. 3, leave a comment below on which Infinity Stone you believe is most powerful. This video is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a domain, website, or online store, make it with Squarespace. In this video, we'll be having the Russos officially answer, why do so many characters and objects in the Marvel Cinematic Universe appear so much weaker than their comic book counterparts? From the Black Order to the Hulk vs. Thanos and the Infinity Stones, but in particular, the Reality Stone.
It was. And it was beautiful.
Starting things off is the Black Order, a group of extremely powerful beings in the Marvel Universe in the service of Thanos, tasked with hunting down Infinity Stones. Originally, they were going to have their own fleshed out backstories in Infinity War, yet that was cut due to time constraints. Well, the Russos tackle this question in the director's commentary.
I would say that we have difficulty with characters that are too powerful because if they can solve the problem on page 1, where are you going? So we have a tendency, all of us, to look for ways to cripple powerful characters, either physically or psychologically. And in this case, Vision gets skewered by a very powerful weapon, and he's damaged throughout the rest of the movie. We talk about there were earlier drafts of the script, I think, with the Black Order in a more stylized draft where we did backstories for each of them.
We did, yeah.
Ultimately, the movie was getting too crowded, too hard to follow. In the books, there's a backstory between Proxima and Corvus that they're married, only hinted at in the slightest way here by the fact that they are paired up to retrieve a stone, and the way that she responds. Proxima responds when Corvus gets stabbed by Natasha. Black Order in particular, we worked hard to adjust them to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In the Hickman run, I thought the characters were too powerful, and nobody wants the sub-villain to outshine the villain. And we adjusted their power sets so that they lined up in a way that was more interesting with our heroes, which is why Maw is a wizard.
So the Black Order won't outshine Thanos, which makes sense, that they wouldn't want to 100% just rip everything from the comics and have their own creative licensing with power levels. But why does this also affect, say, the Hulk when he is seemingly crushed by Thanos? And their answer is...
was Thanos only able to beat Hulk because he had the Power Stone, or is he just that powerful?
I would say that he's just that powerful. I mean, you didn't see him actively use the Power Stone in the fight. I think ultimately the way we looked at that fight and the way we talked about it with our stunt team when we were executing was Hulk is obviously very powerful, but he's a little mindless in his fighting style. It's aggressive, it's pummeling. Thanos is the Genghis Khan of the universe. He's a very skilled fighter, equally as strong. So when you put those two up against each other, the more skilled fighter is going to win ultimately, which is why Hulk has a moment where he overpowers Thanos, but ultimately Thanos is smarter.
At first glance, it seems like plot armor, but given they need a reason for Hulk to ultimately have conflict resolution with his merging personalities in Endgame, it kind of makes sense.
And again, with a movie with 23 named heroes that you know from other movies, one of the challenges is to give people the briefest complete arc, and so that's Banner has to rely on himself is essentially the one-line brief arc for him in this movie.
Yep.
The third point is the Reality Stone. The stone itself is shown to have vast potential in Thor: The Dark World, yet looks more like it creates temporary illusions in Infinity War. Well, the answers to this are manifold. 1. The stones heavily deviate from their comic counterparts again, seemingly due to outrageous power levels. Infinity Gauntlet's run had extreme and far-reaching powers for the stones, e.g. in the comics, the Soul Gem gives the owner the power to alter and manipulate all souls in the universe. Whether or not this is available to Thanos in the MCU is uncertain. However, Thanos does to a lesser extent have self-preservation granted from the Soul Stone, as shown by when the fated snap should have killed him, his consciousness was transported to the Soul World for his own safety.
So Thanos is transported through the power that was needed or required to wipe out half the life in the universe into this dream state inside the Soul Stone.
And he is allowed one last meeting with that which he gave up to get there.
The spiritual representation of his daughter.
The second reason is dark elf magic. You see, the Aether isn't exactly the Reality Stone. It's a mixture of the stone and dark magic weaponized by Malekith when attempting to create the Convergence and plunge the 9 realms into darkness. When reverted into its stone state, it is the Reality Stone, which the Russos explain its capabilities and why it was so limited, thanks to one young, inquisitive fan.
In DC at a Q&A, why Thanos needed all 6 stones and why didn't he just use the Reality Stone to alter reality. The idea being that only something so dramatic as disposing of half the life in half the universe could be accomplished with the power of all 6 stones.
Yeah, that's. I think the Reality Stone, we sort of use it as an impermanent solution to things.
Yes.
Right, not real.
It's illusory. It creates illusions.
And on that note, I just want to thank our sponsor who brings your ideas to reality. Squarespace empowers millions of websites across thousands of different industries for people just like you. Create a beautiful website with Squarespace's all-in-one platform. There's nothing to install, patch, or upgrade ever. Squarespace provides award-winning 24/7 customer support. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/star to save 10% off your first purchase.